From the News Channel 5 Network, this is Inside Politics.
Hello, everyone. I'm News Channel 5's political analyst, Pat Nolan. Welcome to Inside Politics. Nashville Mayor Megan Barry has delivered her first State of Metro and Budget address. She made her comments at the new Ascend Amphitheater downtown before an audience of Metro Council members and hundreds of civic leaders and just regular voters. We're happy to say that the mayor has joined us as our guest this week on Inside Politics to go into more detail about her vision and her financial plans for the city and the many challenges and opportunities our community faces. Mayor, I know this is a very, very busy time for you, so we do appreciate you coming on the show.
Thanks for inviting me, Pat.
Now, you said in your Metro speech that our city has never been stronger, that we're enjoying one of the greatest years ever in terms of growth, but we must grow with intention, purpose, design, and dedication and direction. You said our growth can be equitable, that it can be sustainable, that it can be as much about people as about buildings, but that we must guide it and manage it.
Correct.
Beautiful words to say, but really hard to do.
Well, I think that we're up for the challenge. We have a tremendous budget this year that has $121 million of new revenue, and that's with no new taxes. And I think we're in a very strong place.
Now, the growth numbers you mentioned in your speech are very impressive. You say the city's on track to issue $3.7 billion in permits in 2017, or 2016, I should say, which is double what it was in 2008, right before the Great Recession occurred. It's 50% more than last year.
Correct. Which
is astounding. So does that mean there's still more building cranes on our horizons coming? Have we yet seen where the peak's going to be in this growth spurt?
Well, I mean, I think right now Nashville it's a hot place. There's always going to be peaks and valleys, but right now we're enjoying tremendous growth because so many people want to relocate and come here.
You mentioned the 3.1% unemployment right here in Davidson County, which
Correct.
is as low as I've ever seen it. Do we have the available workforce ready, trained or untrained, to handle the growth that's coming in? Or is workforce going to be an issue like transit? If we don't get it under control, it's going to hurt our growth?
Well, I think that there's two answers to that question. We have a lot of people moving here who come for jobs. We've added about 3,000 jobs since September, but we also have workforce here. And one of the initiatives that we did not talk about, because we've talked about it over the last several months, has been a focus on workforce development. We have that as part of my office, working with people who are underemployed or unemployed to help them get those jobs.
Nashville's enjoying you said a 5.5% wage growth rate.
Yes.
For workers, which is well above the national average. You mentioned our growth will be going on, but we also have a problem with poverty. In fact,
we do.
Poverty in Nashville, as growth is continuing, poverty is rising as well.
It is.
What's the key to getting that under control so that it doesn't impact our growth?
Well, I mean, clearly, when I talked about growth, it is much more than just buildings. It is about making sure that we're growing people into jobs. And you just hit on it. We've got folks who are underemployed and unemployed here who need access to these great jobs that are coming, and we need to create that workforce.
The budget you sent to the council is a $2 billion plus spending plan.
It is.
That's the first time we've ever been over that number.
Yes.
It's headlined by a 3.1% pay raise for Metro employees. Now, I believe you've been on the show a couple times and kind of hinted that might be something you were looking at. Why is that at the top of your list for what we need to do in this first budget?
Well, I will tell you why. Because our Metro employees have not had the benefit of that same wage growth that we're seeing across the board. And Metro, we have to lead the way on fair wages. If we expect this city to be a place where people can live and raise their families, our wages in Metro need to reflect that as well.
Now, the first thing you said in your speech was no new taxes out of this. And
did you want me to say it again?
Oh, no.
Because I can't. No new taxes.
There is about $120 million worth of revenue growth in this,
Yes.
which I think you said is the largest that's ever been achieved in Metro without a tax increase.
Correct.
To go with it. So half that extra money is going for property. It's coming from property and sales tax. But when you do a pay increase, that's a recurring expense every year.
Mm-hmm.
Are we being prudent? We have a lot of money right now because we're having a good bit of growth, but are we being prudent for the years coming forward when things may not be as good to make sure that we built up our rainy day fund so we can sustain that for the years coming forward?
Well, the good news is we've actually contributed tremendously to our rainy day fund as part of this budget. So we're taking care of that as well. And I see the investment in our employees as part of our continued economic engine in Nashville. I mean, anytime you increase their paycheck, that goes to help them buy groceries, pay for a mortgage, and pay for tuition for their kid.
I did see in the PowerPoint that went to the council about the budget itself that There's a roughly $2 million increase in fees that go to both the Planning Commission or Planning Department and to Public Works. What fees are going up? What are those for? Who's going to pay them, and why are they needed?
Well, I think what you're seeing is there's about 30% of the budget allocation is actually going toward metro departments, and you're going to see an increase in codes because we need more codes inspectors, because we've got $3.7 billion.
And those who need their buildings and properties
Correct.
and things inspected are the ones who are going to pay for that.
Yeah.
You said in your speech that the most important thing you think a city does is public education.
Yes.
In fact, it's 41% of the budget that you are proposing. Now, it's $843 million and a little more being requested. Is that what the school board fully requested for the budget this time?
They asked for more, but I will tell you that we're in a moment in time where we're putting a new superintendent in, and I want to make sure that whatever we're funding has that superintendent buy-in. So we are going to go ahead and start funding the literacy request as well as the English language learners request, but we really see that as an opportunity to grow those programs over time with a new superintendent.
Nashville Mayor Megan Barry is our guest on Inside Politics. Back to continue our conversation with him after this break.